This is Gus Summers, and you're watching In-Show Celebrities. This is the time I take every Monday to talk about some of my favorite films and actors. This week, we have another grand star of Hollywood. Not only known for his great acting, but some of Hollywood's best action films. Of course, I'm talking about none other than Mr. Nicolas Cage. This wonderful actor started off in Hollywood as a young actor, working his way up, through the ranks. He not only established himself early on as a wonderful actor in such movies as, like Valley Girl and Birdie, but he went on to show that his acting prowess not only would fit well in the action genre, but also as a dramatic actor, where he went on to win not only a Golden Globe, but also an Academy Award for Best Actor. Well, first up is one of those great action films that established him as the go-to guy for these type of movies. Of course, I'm talking about Con Air. He plays Cameron Poe, a military man who, after a night of having a date night with his wife, gets in a brawl with these men who are harassing him and his wife. He inadvertently kills one of them and then gets sentenced to several years in prison. Well, after his term is up, he hitches a ride and what comes to be known as Con Air. And what it is that the powers that be have decided to gather all the most heinous criminals in one location. So they're going to transport them by plane. And the person who's in charge of doing this is another grand actor. His name, of course, John Cusack. He plays Vince Larkin. He's in charge of all this. He has the plane, set. They're going to have people board where they're at, pick up passengers as they go along to get them to the prison. Nicolas Cage is hitching a ride, and some of the people who are on the plane. One of the most notorious for basically his intellect is Cyrus the Virus, played by none other than John Malkovich. From the beginning, you already know he has something in the works. Well, along with him, another great actor. He plays Diamond Dog. Of course, I'm talking about Ving Rhames. He's the big enforcer. Throughout this whole thing, he's there, following Cyrus's lead, and about taking over the plane. So you have Cameron Poe, Nicolas Cage, a friend of his who is a cellmate who's also hitching a ride, and all sorts of other criminals on board. Well, there is you have all the different guards, and there's one guard, of course, that stands out. She's a wonderful actress. She plays Bishop. Of course, she's the wonderful Rachel Ticotin, and you know her from many films. And she's there as one of the guards. And as the plane takes off, Ving Rhames and John Malkovich are in a special cage. They have these like needles put into their skin. They take it out, take off the handcuffs, and then just take over the plane as soon as it takes off. And so now the convicts have the plane. They're going to make one additional stop. And here they pretend to be the guards, and they bring in some other inmates. And one of the other inmates, he's basically like a Hannibal Lecter type. They have him strapped. They're bringing him in like with these poles because he's so dangerous. His name's Garland. Of course, it's the great Steve Buscemi. And he comes on, they have him all strapped with his face scar, and they put him in a special cage. So during that time, Nicolas Cage is able to put on a recording device that he found on one of the one of the inmates. Well, one of the inmates was actually an undercover police officer who ended up being killed, but he was able to put the recorder in a guard who they covered and released as if they were criminals. So he gave them a message just saying, hey, something's going wrong. It didn't work. They were able to get one of the prisoners to fly the plane and take off. And the whole story now is, everyone discovering what's going on. So the plan is, they have one prisoner who is actually the son of a Mexican cartel drug lord. They're going to take him to a certain airfield. They're going to everyone disembark, get on the plane that's going to be waiting for them, and then all take off to Mexico or wherever it is that they're going. So that's the plan. So meanwhile, Nicolas Cage is the good guy. He's actually a good guy. He just inadvertently protecting his wife, defending her, killed somebody, but he's there protecting his friend. Because during the commotion, he needs insulin because he's diabetic. It all gets broken, so he's there trying to find a needle for him and syringe so he can take his insulin. And he's also there protecting Rachel Bishop, so nothing happens to her. So he's playing the good guy, and in the midst he's trying to sabotage everything, to somehow let the authority know where they're going. So he's trying to let John Cusack know that they're going to a particular airfield. John Cusack, meanwhile, he's having trouble on his end. He's telling everyone there's something wrong, and they finally believe him. But there's one FBI guy who once he discovered the plane has been taken over, that his agent was killed, and he just wants to blow up the plane. You just kill everybody, even the guards, and him and John Cusack are going back and forth. Another great actor plays Agent Malloy. Colum Mine. He's in this particular movie. He thinks he's really arrogant and proud. He drives this Corvette. That John Cusack ends up stealing, because he has to get somewhere really fast. He gets to get to the airfield, so he steals his car, his Corvette. The rest of the movie is Nicolas Cage trying to keep his identity from being known, that he's actually not a life prisoner, but he's actually only there hitching a ride as he's released. Some people find out, and he has to take care of them, and basically sabotage everything. But a great film. It's one of those action films. All these films I'm going to be talking about are just pure action, pure adrenaline. So, and grab the popcorn and enjoy it. The next up, again, another great movie. I love that they pair Nicolas Cage with great actors that work well off of each other. This next film, Face Off. The person he pairs off against, the great John Travolta. John Travolta plays Sean Archer, an FBI agent who's after Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage plays Castor Troy. He is the quintessential bad guy, and what he's going to do is set up a bomb and blow up the LA Convention Center. And what ends up happening in the beginning, John Travolta and the FBI team actually capture Castor Troy, Nicolas Cage, and his brother. His brother is a genius, and he's a Polex. He's played by Alessandro Nivola. He's the guy who's designed the bomb and set it up and knows all the intricacies about it. And when John Travolta captures the whole gang, they discover there's a bomb. They have to try to dismantle the bomb before it explodes. Well, he promised his wife that after Castor Troy was caught, he's done, he's over, no more obsessing about Castor Troy. His wife, another wonderful actress. She plays Eve Archer. Wonderful Joan Allen. He has to come back and tell her that they need him for one more mission. So, their marriage is already strained, their daughter is out of control, but they need John Travolta to go get information from his brother, who knows where the bomb is, because they're assuming that, because he thinks that Castor Troy is actually dead. What ends up happening is that he finds out he's alive, they're keeping him alive, so their plan is that they're going to disguise John Travolta as Castor Troy so he can go get the information from his brother Pollux. Their plan is to literally take off his face, take off Nicolas Cage's face, and exchange faces. So that's their plan. And he's all, no, I'm not going to do this. And they're saying, we only have so many hours, like less than a couple days, to find out. He agrees, and they switch faces. And one of the things that's amazing is that when they switch faces, we know that they didn't switch faces, that they're actually the actors portraying each other. There are little things. This is what shows what great talent that each one has. That they had mannerisms. Nicolas Cage picked up mannerisms of John Travolta, and John Travolta picked up mannerisms of Nicolas Cage, which was really good. So you believe that they were, the counterparts. So John Travolta agrees. He goes to prison, gets the information, but only a small group of people know who he is. No one else knows. So meanwhile, Nicolas Cage wakes up. Because they have him sedated, he wakes up and he forces the doctor to give him John Travolta's face. And so once he does that, he kills the doctor and everyone who knows about the face switch. And then he goes to prison and as John Travolta as the FBI agent, and John Travolta as Nicolas Cage just looking at him. He knows what's happening. There's nothing I can do. No one's going to believe me. And so Sean Archer, Nicolas Cage, John Travolta, and Nicolas Cage saying, woo-wee, yeah, I'm going to go home. I'm going to assume your life. I'm going to have your wife, your daughter, your job, everything. So John Travolta's going crazy. They beat him. They put him in solitary confinement. And then Nicolas Cage, or the new John Travolta, goes out, frees his brother, tells his gang, I'm really him. They dismantle the bomb. He's a hero now, so now, he's living the high life while the John Travolta character, as Nicolas Cage, is in prison. So he ends up escaping. He does his elaborate escape and works his way back to L.A. And now he's trying to convince his wife and other people that that he is the real Sean Archer, and that they had this face, the switch face, and so on and so forth. And again, a great movie. Like I said, they work great off each other. You have two established movie stars that know how movies work, and they just play it off each other great. Of course, the action scenes, the shootouts, and everything. Again, just grab your popcorn and enjoy. Face Off. I know you'll love it. A great film. All right, last film. Again, it's Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. Just big and dynamic in his role. The film Snake Eyes. He plays Nick Santoro. He's a detective in Atlantic City. It's in this particular storyline, it's a grand fight at the last convention center before it gets torn down and everything. It's the last big fight. So he's really excited because he's basically a conniver, a cheat. He's a cop on the take. And he's really excited because the heavyweight champion actually went to his high school. They were actually, I think, from the same graduating class. So he's really excited. So that, he's he's always pumped up. He goes, Lincoln Tyler, we went to the same high school. Look, he's pointing to his class ring. Lincoln Tyler, the heavyweight champ, another fine actor. Stan Shaw, he plays, like I said, he plays the heavyweight champ, who ends up being on the take. He needs to take a dive later in the round, and you learn that as the film goes on. So he's there, he's excited, and also along, who's also there, is his good friend, another friend that he grew up with. His name is Commander Dunn, if I remember. I think he's a commander, played by the great Gary Sinise. So they're friends. Gary Sinise is in charge of security because they have a senator there who's there to enjoy the fight, and so he's there as protection. And so he arranges that Nicolas Cage gets to sit next to him and the senator, and to enjoy the fight in the front row. And so while that's going on, you see the fight begin. Everyone's boxing. You see all the commotion. Yeah. Gary Sinise sees somebody who seems suspicious to him. So he gets up and goes and talks to this lady. She has red hair, red dress, and he's asking her questions. Is this your seat? Are you supposed to be here? And he gets up. Another young lady sits down next to him and begins to talk to the senator. The young lady. Her name is Julia Costello, played wonderfully by Carla Gugino. She is there trying to give the senator some information. She had contacted him saying that she had information about these missile tests that were going on that were bogus, that were false. The senator was trying to push through this missile defense. And they were giving him information that the missiles work, the guidance systems are fine, and she had proof that it was all a lie. They were just trying to push the program through, get the money, and fix the missile guidance system later. Well, what ends up happening is, as she's talking to him, the senator gets assassinated right next to her. And when all it's being kind of hidden by all the commotion of the fight, he gets shot in the neck. She gets shot in the arm, and when the first shot happens, Nicolas Cage hears it. He grabs her after she gets shot, and he's trying to see who's where. And at that point is when he sees Lincoln Tyler, Stan Shaw. Right before that, he got punched as if he got knocked out. But when the shots rang out, Nicolas Cage saw him, that he was actually awake, aware. He goes, oh, now I know that you faked it. So something's going on. Well, meanwhile, you see Gary Sinise in the far side shoot the guy, the sniper who shot the senator. Everyone starts to leave. Panic, run out of the doors. Gary Sinise is, telling everyone, lock the doors, shut everything down. So you start shutting all the doors down. Carla Gugino is trying to get out, but right as she's about to exit, they stop her, and they close the doors. And they want to talk to her, but she's full of blood. She was wearing this white outfit, and she's all full of blood, and but she ends up getting away, and she was actually trying to escape. Well, now Nicolas Cage and Gary Sinise are talking about what happened. He goes, this is Gary Sinise saying, this is going to ruin my career. I shouldn't have left my spot. I went over there and to talk to the gal. She looks suspicious. And Nicolas Cage saying, just easy. I do this all the time. Just tell him what happened. Just it'll be okay. So they're trying to figure out what's happening. And they're trying to figure out who the girl in the red is. They're trying to figure out who why he got assassinated. And they end up finding out that Carla Gugino was involved somehow. So now they're looking for her. Nicolas Cage is trying to figure out, he knows something went on with Stan Shaw, why he took the dive. So he knows something. He's trying to piece it all together. And he takes over, the investigation because he's the lead detective. It's in Atlantic City. This is my This is my field. So they're waiting for the FBI to come. He's trying to push out the local gaming commission and other authorities so he can, manage the situation before the FBI comes. And so now he's looking for all these different people trying to put the puzzles together. What happened? So he goes to talk to Lincoln Tyler, and he's it's a great scene because you'll enjoy the scene because he's being Nicolas Cage. He's all, Lincoln, yeah, my kid wants your autograph, sign it. He goes, I don't feel like it. He goes, well, I'm wondering why it is you took a dive. He goes, I didn't take a dive. The guy punched me. He goes, don't give me that. Come on, and he's just he's just being big, Nicolas Cage. That's a great scene. There's also, I don't want to give too much away because it's very elaborate, and if you give too much away, you'll know the story too soon. But so he's trying to, he's asking questions of him, and then he ends up finding out. He starts looking for Carla Gugino because he knows she's involved somehow. So he ends up finding her, and then there's a scene where she's talking to him, and they're on the stairs, and she's telling him everything that's going on, and she's upset, and he's realizing that this is a conspiracy, and their interaction together, you think you're actually glimpsing into a moment of reality, between two people, someone who's scared, who's trying to do the right thing, the other guy is realizing that, all these people and all these different things are connected, and he's like, this can't be true. You made a mistake, didn't you? She goes, yeah, I made a mistake. You don't remember I said? She goes, no, it's a great scene. Again, it's wonderful when you have, actors that work well with each other. But again, it's one of those movies that you stay with and you start realizing, wow, this person's involved with that, this person's involved with that. But, great film. But again, all these movies are great, just action movies, exactly what they're meant to be, for you to sit back, enjoy, and just have a good time. It's like a roller coaster, they're there for just your amusement. Like I said earlier, get a big box of popcorn, plop them all in, and enjoy. And of course, if you're looking for Nicolas Cage as the Academy Award winner, of course you can look for films like Leaving Las Vegas, fantastic movie, or Adaptation. Again, movies where it really shows his acting ability. Or there's another little great movie he did not too long ago called Bangkok Dangerous. You think it's an action film, but it's actually more of a drama. Again, showing his acting ability. Wonderful movies. I know you enjoy each and every one of them that you watch. Well, that's what I got for you today. This is Gus Summers, and you've been watching In-Show Celebrities. This is the time I take every Monday to talk about some of my favorite films and actors. Of course, don't remember to visit us every Thursday at theinshow.com, where I host The In-Show. And that's when I bring on all sorts of celebrities and guests just to talk about their projects and whatever it is that they are doing. And of course, don't forget to visit us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Flickr, Instagram, all those great social media sites. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, Gus has left the building.